Good afternoon. Welcome to another program of Thinking is Contagious. I hope you're enjoying these programs. Would like for you to, if you are, to continue supporting us, spread the word, send copies to your friends, and encourage the subscribing. I think it's important that the subscribing continues and continues to grow for reasons which are very inherent in the topic that I want to talk about today, which is I read an article um, in the Atlantic magazine, which, why I would read too much into anything in the Atlantic, but I like hearing all sides, and you pick up and learn a lot of things from listening to that point, different point of view, and it did expand my overall view of how we need to view the pandemic. So I got to say that I gained some thought process by reading it. However, the, the title of the article is The Pandemic That Defeated America. Let's say that again, the pandemic that defeated America. Are you defeated, America? I don't think so. It's written by a gentleman named Eric Young, and he's very aware, like are all these publications and media publications, both on the left and the right, that the attention span today, unfortunately, in this country is not conducive to 2 pages of prose, of not conducive to 15 minutes of a narrative on a video, like maybe even this, which is one of the things that I'm going to try to do is cut down the time on these things. He tries to compare the results of this country, the cases, the amount of cases, the amount of deaths, and he takes these numbers and isolates them in his narrative and compares the results in a negative way, applauding the efforts of countries like South Korea, Thailand, Slovakia. Mr. Young, open your eyes, okay? You're talking about the most populous, capitalist, free country economy in the world. 330 million people approximately who travel internally within the 50 states, travel internally without any constraints, restraints, all the freedoms in the world, the freedom of the United States. A country where you cannot mandate people's behavior because it won't be tolerated. So, in comparing countries where all those things are vehicles of control to the United States is absurd. It's an insult to the intelligence of the reader. And let's get that very straight. Your point, you go on and continue to point out the American medical system. You point out that with all the resources and how the system has bundled this, whether it be because of leadership, direction, or whatever it may be. First, let's start with the CDC has been all over the place on the recommendations starting in February. I don't blame them because it's new. As you learn more facts, things evolve. Just like when President Trump shut down travel from China and was called all the types of names by Schumer, Cuomo, de Blasio, all the liberals, call them names as a xenophobe for blocking out the Chinese. He was right. And all those people who were making fun of him came on board afterwards because facts evolve. Trump, as he is in many things, was well ahead of the narrative, understood and read the situation better than they did. And the evidence is how things were read is that of the COVID deaths in this country, 20 to 25,000 occurred in New York City nursing homes as a direct result of Mario Cuomo's mandate in order to remain politically correct, not infringe on anyone's rights, not be called out as someone who in any way, shape, or form segregated people, mandated that even the sick, even those found to have COVID, who were in nursing homes, could not be refused reinstatement into that nursing home. And furthermore, new people to going into the nursing homes, even if they were carrying COVID, could not be refused from being accepted into these nursing homes. That is where blood is on the hands. Okay? That is where blood is on the hands, and that's 20, 25,000 deaths. By the way, were the Navy ship in port, very capable of handling many of these people, other quarantine vehicles available or venues available to quarantine the ill? No. They must be allowed back into the nursing homes. So when you go out in this article and belittle the United States medical system with all its resources of how they've handled this, I remind you of just one little fact. When the world gets a cold, and I'm using that as a dressed up example of what I'm trying to drive at. When people anywhere in this world face a life or death disease, immediately their first option is America. When the hell-bent efforts to find a cure for a disease, immediately the focus is America. The vaccine for COVID, the focus is America. So if this system is so bad and so inept and so prone to fumbling, why does the entire world, when their life is at stake, clamor to get into this country? That premise, again, out the window. But finally, the part that bothers me the most about all of this is you're saying that it defeats this country. No, it doesn't. You slap in the face to the 150,000 people that have died. It did not defeat this country. Their deaths are not in vain. Okay? This country will come out stronger, better, more affluent, better prepared, and having given the world a cure or a preventative, not only for this disease, this virus, but from it will create cures and preventions for many other similar types of viruses. A petri dish, so to speak, for future pandemic prevention will be created out of this massive effort by the greatest country in the world to find the answer to this disease. So when you say that this has defeated this country, all you're doing is taking your quick little narrative and putting it in the heads of people and hoping that it sticks. Remember what I've said in other programs, and this is exactly how the propaganda is in socialist countries, okay, and in tyrannical countries under dictatorships. Tell a lie, tell a big lie, repeat it over and over and over again, and eventually you'll be able to base your entire theses on it because people will believe it to be true. So by you saying it defeated this country, that's your little drop of water to start putting that into people's heads. It hasn't defeated this country. Quite the contrary, sir. Quite the contrary. This country will never be greater, will never be better, will never come out stronger than they will always come out stronger than they go into this type of situation. It's the history of this country. You, sir, fail to see it. You, sir, are slapping Americans in the face with that narrative, with that headline, and with that direction in that article. It is an insult. It is an article with no basis, and it is an article that basically is belittling this country in a way that shows that you have no knowledge of what this country is and what this country is capable of. I'm going to keep these from now on, as I said before. I'm going to try to keep these around the 10-minute mark. I hope it helps. I need subscribers. If you like this, please subscribe. If you like this, please get somebody else to subscribe. We need to discuss reality. We need to discuss what has made this country what everyone that looks for opportunity seeks to come to. We need to share this. God bless you. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe.